Diary of a Submarine Operator. Japanese submarines at Kure Harbor. The bustling naval base at Kure Harbor was a masterpiece of military engineering and a symbol of Japan's naval ambition during World War II. Walking along its piers was like stepping into the heart of the Imperial Japanese Navy. Towering battleships, nimble destroyers, and sleek submarines filled the docks. Kure was not just a harbour, it was a fortress, an industrial marvel, and a hive of unrelenting activity, all driving towards Japan's vision of dominance in the Pacific. For me, as a young submarine operator, Kure was both a source of immense pride and a reminder of the perilous missions that awaited us. The strategic significance of Kure Harbor. Kure was more than a naval base. It was the beating heart of Japan's maritime strategy. Located in Hiroshima Prefecture, it offered a sheltered harbour and proximity to key Pacific routes. Its docks produced some of the most advanced warships of the era, including the legendary Yamato and Musashi. Kure symbolized Japan's naval power and its resolve to hold off the encroaching Allied forces. By the time I arrived, the base had become a critical hub for submarine operations. Japan's submarines, or sensuikan, were tasked with everything from reconnaissance to disrupting Allied supply lines. While the Allies focused their submarines on sinking Japanese cargo ships, our missions were often more complex, transporting critical supplies to isolated garrisons, shadowing enemy fleets, and, when opportunity allowed, delivering devastating strikes against Allied warships. Preparation, the soul of submarine warfare. Every mission began with preparation, and at Kure, this was a sacred ritual. The submarines, sleek and dark, were lined up like silent predators awaiting their next hunt. Our I-class submarines were among the most advanced in the world, designed for long-range missions and equipped with torpedoes capable of crippling even the most formidable ships. The loading process was precise and methodical. Torpedoes were handled like fragile treasures, their gleaming warheads a reminder of the destruction they could unleash. Each crew member had a role to play. Engineers meticulously checked the diesel engines and batteries, ensuring they could sustain us for weeks beneath the surface. Sonar operators, like myself, recalibrated our hydrophones to pick up the faintest enemy signals. The captain, ever stoic, pored over charts and intelligence reports, plotting our route with a meticulousness born of necessity. Kure's shipyards hummed with activity. Workers repaired hulls damaged in previous encounters, their faces etched with the strain of keeping up with the relentless demands of war. The smell of oil, steel, and salt water filled the air. Every clang of a hammer echoed with urgency, a stark reminder that time was against us. The mission: into the depths. Our mission was clear: to intercept an Allied convoy heading for the Philippines. The convoy carried supplies and reinforcements crucial to the enemy's Pacific strategy. For the Imperial Japanese Navy, disrupting these lifelines was critical to slowing the relentless Allied advance. As the submarine slid beneath the waves, the world above disappeared. Inside the narrow confines, the atmosphere was tense but focused. The only light came from dim red lamps that preserved our night vision. The hum of the engines and the occasional whisper of commands were the only sounds. My station, the sonar, became my entire world. Every ping, every faint echo was a potential sign of the enemy, or a harbinger of doom. Days passed in a haze of tension. We approached the Luzon Strait, a choke point infamous for its strong currents and heavy enemy patrols. Then, it happened. The sonar picked up the rhythmic thrum of propellers. I called out the bearing, my voice steady despite the adrenaline coursing through me. The captain raised the periscope, his face unreadable as he studied the convoy through the lens. "Prepare torpedoes," he finally said, his voice low but commanding. Drama in the deep. The launch of a torpedo is both an exhilarating and terrifying moment. The submarine trembled as the weapon left the tube, a sleek, deadly messenger slicing through the water. We held our breath, counting the seconds. Then, the explosion. A dull, distant roar that seemed to shake the ocean itself. Cheers erupted, but they were short-lived. The convoy had called for help. The retaliatory depth charges came quickly. The first detonation was distant, a faint rumble, but the second was closer, sending shockwaves through the submarine. Lights flickered, and the hull groaned under the pressure. The captain barked orders: dive deeper, change course, deploy decoys. Each move was a gamble, a desperate attempt to evade the enemy's relentless pursuit. For hours, we played a deadly game of cat and mouse. The explosions grew sporadic, then ceased altogether. The enemy had given up. We surfaced cautiously, scanning the horizon for signs of pursuit. The damage was significant, but we had survived. Returning to Kure, victory and loss. Returning to Kure Harbor was bittersweet. The sight of the harbour, with its towering cranes and bustling docks, was a relief. But it was also a reminder of the submarines that didn't return. Their names were whispered among the crews, a roll call of loss that weighed heavily on all of us. As we docked, I stepped onto the pier and looked back at the submarine. It had carried us through hell and back, a testament to the engineering and bravery that defined the Imperial Japanese Navy. But I couldn't ignore the toll it had taken on us, physically, mentally, and emotionally. Real footage, a glimpse into history. What you are about to see is real, unedited footage of Japanese submarines at Kure Harbor. These images capture the meticulous preparation, the tense missions, and the harrowing realities faced by the crews who served beneath the waves. This is more than history. It is a window into the sacrifices and struggles of those who lived, and often died, in the silent, unforgiving world of submarine warfare.